Welcome and congratulations on your purchase of a Whitfield pellet stove. We are very proud of the stoves we build and consider them to be the best designed and best manufactured pellet stoves in the world. It is the purpose of this video presentation to familiarize you with the operation and maintenance concepts of your Quest pellet stove. We would like to begin this presentation by first acquainting you with the story behind the stove, the Whitfield story. Dr. Jerry Whitfield held a PhD in aeroacoustics and worked in the aerospace industry for the Boeing Company and Rolls-Royce. He also had a most unusual question. Is there a more efficient, convenient, and environmentally friendly way to heat with wood? Simply put, is there a better way? In 1983, he set out on his own to find the answer. His discovery has revolutionized the way the world heats with wood. Dr. Whitfield is the inventor and the creator of the pellet burning stove. From the garage of 1983 with a single stove, Whitfield and his company, Pyro Industries, has grown to a 115,000 square foot manufacturing plant with hundreds of new stoves ready for shipment. Whitfield is well prepared to meet the growing demand for their product. They sell more pellet stoves than all other 30-plus manufacturers in North America combined. The reason for this success is simple. A better idea, well done. The result is the pellet stove. Conventional wood stoves control heat by manually regulating the flow of air to the fire. The simple but revolutionary concept of the pellet stove is to control heat by thermostatically regulating the amount of fuel reaching the high temperature forced air firebox. This innovative method produces heat in a very efficient and controllable manner, with a second blower forcing clean, heated air into the room. A unique air wash system draws air in over the glass to help keep the viewing glass clean. This is the pellet stove, and it burns the most unique fuel. The fuel pellets for the Whitfield stove are made from waste wood dust and chips. No new trees are cut for fuel. Wood pellets are domestically produced from renewable resources. They require only 1/3 the storage space of cordwood and are available in clean, easily manageable 40-pound bags. The cost of the pellets compares favorably with other home heating fuels. This very efficient fuel has become increasingly easier to obtain. From only 2 producers in 1983, the number of manufacturers has increased each year, totaling over 50 in North America today, with additional plants coming online each year. The spirit of the new Whitfield manufacturing plant in Burlington, Washington, can be best summed up in a single word: efficiency. The plant has been designed to be efficient. The staff works with efficiency, and the plant's only product, the Whitfield pellet stove, reflects this efficiency in its design, manufacture, and operation. The entire stove is produced right here in the world's largest pellet stove manufacturing plant. From receipt of flat sheet metal stock and basic electrical components, production moves through a series of manufacturing areas, each featuring major investments in the most up-to-date equipment and technology. Raw steel is punched in computer-managed presses to produce the basic stove sections. A modern sheet metal shop fabricates the individual stove components using electronically controlled machinery for optimum accuracy. Each stove is pre-fit together to ensure exact alignment before moving to the welding station. Here, computer-controlled, automated robotics provide precise internal welds. After further production work, the internal parts of the pellet stove, such as augers, blowers, and safety components are installed. Electronic controls and safety devices are fitted by hand and tested for system integrity and dependability. The nearly completed stoves are sent to the paint stations where they receive one of several high-quality finishes and final inspection before shipping. It is the commitment to an ideal and to the realization of this commitment that has made Whitfield a proven leader in the pellet stove industry. But Whitfield does not only build the best stove today, they continue with designing for tomorrow. Whitfield's dedication to quality and efficiency, to a better way, has led to today's pellet stove. It is this dedication that has produced stoves with such durability and high burn efficiencies, with virtually no creosote buildup or visible smoke, that are EPA approved, and whose emission levels are so low that they have little or no impact on the environment. And because these stoves radiate significant heat only to the front, they may be installed within 1 inch of a wall. Installation is also made much simpler by the fact that Whitfield's forced air combustion system does not require any chimney, and the stove may be directly vented to the outside using only a 3-inch double-walled pipe. The same commitment that has produced today's stove drives the people of Whitfield to look always to the future. Improved design, greater efficiency, and even greater ease of operation remain a constant goal here. And while Whitfield is working for the future, they continue to build stoves of superb quality for today's user. For the Whitfield stove user, there may be little concern for product history or computer-controlled robotics. In fact, the true beauty and value of the Whitfield pellet stove lies in its easy dependability for the homeowner. With simple, periodic cleaning, the pellet stove has made wood heating a convenient and enjoyable experience. Fuel is placed in the hopper for up to a 50-hour burn time. The stove is easy to light, using a single match. Heat output is automatically controlled and is set either at the stove or at an optional wall-mounted thermostat. The Whitfield stove now provides a safe, steady, and clean source of warmth with comfort, style, and beauty. The pellet stove was invented to make heating with wood a science. And today, the industry leader still bears the name of its inventor, Jerry Whitfield. Our stove is designed and built to work efficiently and to last. Our dealers stand behind our product, and we stand behind our product, both today and tomorrow. For very valid reasons, the inventor of the pellet stove remains the leader. This is the Whitfield story. Congratulations again on your purchase of a Whitfield pellet stove. Your Quest model, either freestanding or insert, is a highly efficient and well-engineered product. It will be necessary for you to learn the basics of operation and maintenance in order to realize the capabilities built into your stove. This is especially true in the first few days as you learn to fine-tune your stove's operation. This program has been prepared to help you through this period, as well as to provide a visual guide through some other operation and maintenance procedures. It is, however, only a guide, and we strongly encourage your study of and referral to the owner's manual, in which, by the way, you will find the warranty card we ask you to return to us. For the sake of safety and proper operation, we also highly recommend professional installation by your authorized Whitfield dealer. In the operations and maintenance portion of the film, we will look at the following sections: startup, to include fuel and lighting your stove; operation; fine-tuning; cleaning; and yearly routine maintenance. Let's begin with starting up your new stove and a brief talk about fuel. It is important that you make certain you have suitable pellets. Your dealer is a good source of information on the factors to consider in purchasing the quality fuel needed to get the most from your stove. Please note that fuel pellets may vary in size and composition, giving different burn rates. We will talk more about this later, and for now finish by saying that fuel should always be stored in a dry area. Before lighting your stove for the first time, be certain that all protective film is removed from the brass trim, and all contents are removed from the hopper. Check the burn grate for proper seating. Ensure that both the left and right ash release slide plates are fully closed and the pedestal ash pan is sealed tight. And pour fuel pellets into the hopper. Avoid including excessive fines, the sawdust at the bottom of the container, as these may affect proper operation. Depress the start button and the auger button. This activates the auger motor and allows it to prime, which means to fill up with fuel pellets. Turn the pellet feed control to the maximum high position. Once pellets begin to fall into the burn grate, approximately 5 to 10 minutes, depress the auger button to stop the flow of pellets. Place a handful of pellets on top of an approved fire starter, remembering never to use flammable liquids. Light with a match, close the door, and turn the damper control to the line separating the low and medium setting. When the pellets are glowing, approximately 3 minutes, depress the auger button to restart the auger and begin the feeding of fuel to the burn grate. Set the pellet feed control to the desired position. Adjust the damper control to the same range as the pellet feed control. Finally, push the convection fan button once for high speed or press again for low speed. The stove may be safely operated at either setting for all pellet feed rates. If you have purchased the optional fast fire self-igniter from your dealer, you will need to perform the following startup procedure. Making sure the auger is primed, simply push the start switch to activate the igniter and push the auger on-off switch to start the auger. While the pellets will ignite on any pellet feed setting, it is recommended that the pellet feed control and the damper control be set into the medium range. Pellets will start feeding into the grate and should begin to ignite within 3 to 7 minutes. The self-igniter will automatically shut off after 15 minutes. You may note an odor as the stove cures during this first burn, and it is best to allow for proper room ventilation at this time. In this section, we can look closer at some of your stove's operating controls. The start button activates both the convection and the combustion blowers. The auger on button activates the auger motor, delivering pellets to the burn grate. Operation is indicated by a blinking red light. The pellet feed control determines the amount of pellets reaching the burn grate, and therefore the amount of heat your stove will produce. The damper control determines the amount of air reaching the burn grate in order to provide the correct amount of oxygen to the fire. This is combustion air. Convection air is the heated air reaching your room and is controlled by the fan high-low button. The stove is regulated through the adjustment of these controls to provide the desired amount of home heating. The stove may be turned off by simply pushing the auger button. This will cause the auger to stop feeding fuel, and after the remaining pellets have been burned, the fire will go out. The blowers will continue to operate until the stove cools down sufficiently. In the event of a power outage, your stove will shut itself safely down and may be restarted following normal procedures. Pellets can differ significantly in length, size, and quality, even within the same brand as the source of waste wood changes. And all of these factors can affect the pellet's burning characteristics. The key to optimum pellet stove performance is the proper mixing of fuel and air, and the damper control is the homeowner's tool for fine-tuning this flow of air to the fire. The simple task of adjusting the damper is accomplished by turning the damper control knob into the same range as the pellet feed control to achieve the proper flame. The actual setting will vary from stove to stove due to installation, altitude, and types of fuel being used. You may expect a 40-pound bag of pellets to typically last between 10 and 40 or more hours, depending upon the quality of the fuel being burned. A proper flame is bright yellow with no soot formation at the top of the flame. If the flame is a lazy, smoky, red-orange color with soot at the top, or pellets build up in the grate, or the window becomes dirty, the fire needs more combustion air. Turn the damper control slowly clockwise for more air until the flame begins to dance and becomes a bright yellow. If the fuel is burning too fast and your stove will not stay lit, you will need to turn the damper control slowly counterclockwise for less air to achieve the proper flame. If you have adjusted the damper control to the lowest position and the fire will still not stay lit, slightly increase the pellet feed rate to achieve the proper flame. It is important to note that depending on the types of fuel used, proper flame adjustment may occasionally occur with controls set in different ranges. Remember that it is the appearance of the flame that determines the final adjustment of your stove. A smoky red-orange flame can also mean your stove is in need of cleaning, because ash deposits may be starting to block some of the exhaust passages. Cleaning is done on an as-needed basis because of the different types of fuels used and varying times of operation for each individual stove. The areas to be inspected include the burn grate, the heat exchanger tubes, and the ash pan. It is very important to note that your stove should be disconnected from the power source and sufficiently cooled prior to cleaning. The burn grate should be inspected periodically to assure that the air holes or slots have not become clogged with ash or hardened ash deposits called clinkers. The burn grate can easily be cleaned with the grate scraper ash pan tool. Or it can be removed for cleaning. Ash around the grate may be deposited into the ash pan at this time by simply pulling the ash release slide plates open. Make sure to fully close the plates when finished, as failure to do so may result in insufficient combustion, causing pellets to pile up in the grate. The heat exchanger tubes are located above the combustion chamber door and are cleaned by sliding the built-in cleaning rod back and forth a few times weekly. The ash pan will need to be checked periodically and emptied when full. Locate the draw latch and turn it counterclockwise. Remove the pan and dump the contents into a non-combustible container. This should be done after approximately 20 to 30 bags of fuel have been burned, depending upon the quality of the fuel. The job is finished by sliding the pan back into the stove and turning the latch clockwise. If you own a Quest insert model, the duct scraper rod must be pulled out periodically. The rod is located behind the right-hand shroud panel. Remove the wing nut and pull the plate all the way out to scrape any fly ash into the vertical portion of the T. This should be done when the stove is cold. Push the plate back flush and tighten down the wing nut. Remove the T-cap and dispose of ash in a non-combustible container. The T-cap may now be replaced and the shroud panel closed. The insert model has two separate ash pans. The first is located directly below the burn grate. It is very important to check the ash buildup under the burn grate, as excessive buildup here may stop air from reaching the fire. The pan is removed with the ash pan tool. The second pan surrounds the burn grate and may also be removed with the ash pan tool. After cleaning, the burn grate may be replaced. The windows may be cleaned with a damp cloth at this time, when the blowers are off and the stove is cool. This is also a good opportunity to check your air wash opening for obstructions using a thin piece of cardboard. In addition to as-needed cleaning, your stove will require certain routine inspections. All venting should be inspected at least once a year by an authorized Whitfield dealer for possible leakage and accumulation of ash. Ash buildup in the exhaust vents will prevent proper airflow through the stove. The rope gasket around the door and window should be checked periodically and replaced when necessary. The door seal is inspected by closing the door on a strip of paper. The paper should meet resistance when withdrawn. This procedure should be repeated in several locations around the door. At the end of the burning season, it is a good idea to remove the unused pellets from the hopper, as they may deteriorate over time and impair the future performance of your stove. This program has been created for you, the owner of a new Whitfield pellet stove. It has been our intention to familiarize you with the operation and maintenance aspects of your purchase. There may seem to be many things to learn, but you will see that you soon come to know and understand your stove as it becomes a member of your family, and these routine procedures will become commonplace. We invite you to return to this program for guidance and remind you that your manual holds most of the answers to your questions. And please remember that your dealer represents us and is there to support you if you need further assistance. Thank you again, and we hope you enjoy your Whitfield pellet stove.